We hit rock bottom, struggling hard with our health. It was hard to run our business when we were not feeling great. And I kept praying. I was like, God, if you'll just show me the answers, lead me to the answers. And I promise I won't keep it a secret. That next business idea comes from what you struggled through. Because I believe our second act is we are meant to thrive in all ways, but you got to have your health so that you can do all the other things.
Well, let's start from the beginning. Where did your career begin?
Well, it started in high school. I was good at math and science, and my high school physics teacher said mainly boys should be engineers. And so I was like, I'm going to prove him wrong. I majored in mechanical engineering in college. It was not necessarily my passion, but I was a facilities engineer at Texas Instruments. I did project management. I A lot of it I did like, but it never really lit me up. It was a paycheck. It challenged me, but that's where I started. Then I took some time off when I had our daughters. And in the meantime, my husband started a manufacturer rep agency. I could work part time with him and then be at home with the girls. So I was developing the background skills. I never liked to be front facing. And so I was doing payroll, all the back office stuff. Fast forward, our daughters get to high school, and our church youth director quit. Somehow I got pegged to be the church youth director.
Ooh.
It was terrifying to me because I'd always said, I'll help with when they're little, but once they get to high school, teenagers scare me. But I did it for 10 years, and I can just see, along the way, God's planting these skill sets that I need for later down the road. And so with the youth group, I was able to really plan activities, get comfortable talking in front of people, coaching grumpy teenagers to do things sometimes they don't want to do. And it really blossomed me in my confidence. But then about mid-40s, good old perimenopause happened. My health kind of tanked. My girls are about to leave for college, and I just came to that point where, like, is this really all there is? I'd finished youth director. I was doing our other business, but nothing was for me. Nothing was lighting me up. I know you talk about that in the book where you just kind of like are going through the motions, but you're like, this isn't my passion. Where can I use these skills? And I kept thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? But through our health crisis, I didn't know it was perimenopause. I'd gained 30 pounds, seemed like out of nowhere. So exhausted. I thought it was because I was raising teenagers, but I wasn't. I could not think clearly. Like one day at the grocery store, I forgot my PIN number that I entered every day. And I'm like, it just was gone.
Right.
And
All
so
these
there was
signs, you're
all
noticing these
these little
changes.
things, but I didn't know it because, of course, the doctor didn't say anything. And at the very same time, my husband Brady was diagnosed with 3 autoimmune diseases: rheumatoid arthritis, psoriatic arthritis, and lupus. It was put on some very harsh immunosuppressant drugs that were like chemo every weekend. So we were struggling. But I was determined. I love to learn. So I did so much research, and we went through an autoimmune protocol diet that kind of took us off a lot of inflammatory foods. And boy, did I pray hard because Brady was not on board with doing this at first. But I was like, please just try it because nothing else is working. And it was life changing. We slowly both got our health back. He, after a year of doing it, was able to get off all the drugs and has been off of them since. He controls his autoimmune with diet, the right supplements, and making sure sleep and stress stay under control.
Wow.
And since then, we have 2 daughters that have celiac that have figured it out from this. We all talk about kind of before and after we did that reset because it changed our family's health legacy.
Wow.
And inflammation is a big part of the struggle of menopause. So I was learning it through him, but it was helping me. And so a lot of times, that next business idea or whatever comes from what you struggled through. We hit rock bottom, struggling hard with our health. It was hard to run our business when we were not feeling great. And I kept praying. I was like, God, if you'll just show me the answers, lead me to the answers, and I promise I won't keep it a secret. And
Mm.
so that has been my mission, to make sure people know that there is something you can do. It is within your control to get that inflammation down, to get your hormones in balance, to feel amazing for the second act.
Wow.
So that's kind of been my transition. And I've used skills from every job that I've had to build on to get to here.
You've healed your family through these other means, and you said, okay, I don't want to keep it a secret. I'm going to create my own health and wellness business to be able to help others. And how did you go about that? Because that's a much bigger undertaking to now take what you've learned and offer it to others. So, what was kind of the planning and mindset to create your own business?
I got the stirring and listening to podcasts. I love to listen to podcasts like yours. I'd heard Sean Stevenson. He's a model health show. And he mentioned one time this coaching program, Institute of Transformational Nutrition, ITN. And you know, when you hear something and you just already know this is it was a big investment. It was gonna take, like, 18 months to a year to go through all the training. It was really root cause focused, and it involved faith, all the different habits
Mhm.
to, like, whole health, and I just knew that was what I had to do, and I like a process, the engineer in me, so I went through the training, and it helped build the business, but then I just kept taking courses, watching others, and I am not a marketing creative person in the beginning, but I've learned to get there and learn different ways to express myself and advertise what I teach. It lights me up to help women
Mm.
because I just remember just crying a lot after doctor's appointments at home, looking in the mirror. It's like, who is this person? I shouldn't feel like this at this age. And I like had too much to look forward to feel like that. And so I don't want any woman to stay stuck there. And a lot of times it takes several doctors to find the right one. And you need somebody in your corner cheering you on, not shaming you, teaching you how to take the small steps when you have no energy to do the big things.
Exactly. And so often, I just had this conversation with one of my best friends about her being OBGYN saying, I'm having all these signs. Is it perimenopause? And the doctor said, oh, no, it's okay. It'll pass. And she came to me and was like, it's not passing. Like, why would they say that? And because there's so many doctors and people who just don't know the root
Yes.
causes of this. And the fact that you've studied it and you've seen a difference, you're the person to go to help. And to see how you've
Yes.
transformed your life and you're still learning as you help others is incredible.
Yes. Yes. I had one, my general practitioner tell me that it was just aging and that's just what happens. And then my OBGYN that delivered all three of my girls didn't believe in hormones. And so like it was Santa Claus or something. No, it just took me forever to find those answers. Hormone therapy I'm a big believer in it, but it's not the magic pill. You do have to make the lifestyle changes too. What worked in our 30s just isn't going to carry us to a healthy older age now. There are things you have to do differently, but I promise you it's worth it.
It is. And so you call yourself a transformational nutrition coach.
Yes, because when you feel good and you really learn the power of food as medicine, it lights you up.
Mm.
It gives you the energy to do all the things you love.
And we want to because we're still young and we're taking care of our kids and we want to be there for our grandchildren and you and
Yes.
I were just talking about our parents who are from a different generation and they're getting
Yes.
older and we want to take the power at this age to learn and do the things now so that we are as healthy like Betty White when we're in our 90s, right?
Exactly. Exactly. I thought about it so much when I was raising my girls. I want to be a good example for them. Well, now is even more important. I'm going to be a good example of how fun it is to get older. That if you take good care of yourself, you have the energy to travel where you want to do all the things you want to. I want to show them that getting old doesn't suck.
Yeah.
And so I know they're watching me because they make changes as they see I'm making changes. I'm trying to influence the older generation, but some of it is just it's too late. And you kind of have to learn from your parents how they aged. What did they do right? And what did they get wrong? That's your pathway forward to change how you're going to age. My grandparents died young, and I had 4 great aunts. 2 great aunts that liked to sit in their recliner, watch their soap operas, plan their next doctor's appointments, and then I had 2 that were active into their 90s. One rode a water slide with me for her first time in her 70s. My other great aunt, like, got a gold medal in line dancing when she was in her 80s. I wanna age like them, like the Betty Whites.
Yeah.
And so I gotta do the things now to get there.
Mm. And we were talking about a passage in my book, Start Your
Oh,
70s,
yes,
that is
yes.
about how I talk about making a change in your life and making a transformation for your grandparents who may not have had the opportunity. And you shared something that was making us both a little emotional. If you'd like to share it with.
Yes, when I read that line, Shannon, I had not thought about it, but my grandmother died in her 40s from a blood clot from a hysterectomy, and of course, it was probably caused by perimenopause. Her doctors didn't know anything about that, and so now I am shouting from the rooftops for women to know that hormone therapy and lifestyle adjustments can change that outcome. And so I do feel inspired to help people so they don't have, like, her outcome, and I know she would be proud of this. I never got to meet her, but it just when I read that on your book, it hit me. I was like, "I'm doing this for her too."
You are. You are, and you're giving yourself that longevity that she unfortunately didn't have, and you're making the
Yes.
most of it in an
Yes.
energetic, like, healthy
Yes.
way, that's making an impact on your daughters and your future grandchildren and all of it. And I wanna really talk about your programs that you offer to your clients and especially your YouTube channel. So tell us about that because you make incredible content that is so relatable on YouTube. And I think it's a great free resource for people to go and really learn more about you and what you offer too.
Yes, I have loved doing YouTube. I've done it for, like, really consistently for the last 2 years. I talk about nutrition. I show you meal plans, ideas. I'm never gonna give you a strict meal plan because I think everyone has their own tastes and preferences. I tell you about exercise and sleep, and I am coming from the person that was where you are. I was not always skinny in my 30s while I was raising kids. But it really the lifestyle changes that I share with you on YouTube are small doable things. Because a lot of times we get that diet mentality where you think, "Okay, where's the listed no food? I can't have these foods. I can't have these. What am I supposed to do?" And you can only do that for a short amount of time.
Mhm.
That's not the way you create good habits. Instead, you start really small. And get that habit locked in, like adding vegetables to your plate. Some people don't even eat vegetables. If you could just add one of your favorites every day until that becomes a habit, then you add on one more thing and you keep layering it on. And with each step, you're building that healthy lifestyle that you enjoy and can stick to. And so that's what my YouTube channel is all about. I hope to inspire you to make those small changes, and I show you how. Jenny Waters Wellness.
Okay, Jenny Waters Wellness. I'll link to everything in the show notes as well.
Yes.
And tell us about your program. So you have an incredible program to work with people.
Yes. So I have to do one-on-one coaching because everyone is different. And I think I hate cookie cutter diets or workout plans where you're just handed this and you're off on your own. So I have 2 options. You can either get Voxer coached or Zoom coached. Voxer is like a walkie-talkie kind of app where we talk back and forth. But I have the Thrive method where I teach you simple habits. We go through different nutrition education where you're balancing your hormones, your blood sugar, you're getting enough fiber. We're talking about protein and carbs. Then we get into the inflammation and, of course, sugar. We have to address that. But It's not in an overwhelming way. You move on when you're ready and you learn how to do it. And then I'm there to help you put it into real practice because I want this to be super doable. If you get overwhelmed, then you're not going to stick to it. And I want you to stick to this and build that healthy lifestyle.
It's a perfect amount of education and accountability.
Yes.
We all
Yeah,
know.
and it's less than 30 minutes a week to learn the skills, and then I help you put them into action. And I've done the habit coaching, the inflammation diet, the anti-inflammatory diet, and now I've pulled this all together because I think you need all the tools in a simple way to really put it into practice and make it doable. Because I believe our second act is we are meant to thrive in all ways, but you got to have your health so that you can do all the other things.
Mhm. And you learn different things at this stage. I was just thinking to myself this morning, I've never been a coffee drinker, and that might be crazy
Oh,
to people. I've literally never drank coffee in my life. Today I woke up and I had a little bit less energy than normal, and I said, "Oh my gosh, what if I have to start drinking coffee in my 40s?" Because I just felt like something is shifting. I've never worried
yes,
about my energy, but it's not the coffee. It's other things that I can do,
yes,
obviously, but it's like you
right.
start to think like you want to listen to your body more and what do you
Yeah.
need? And for women who are listening who either have started a new business or are thinking about making a change, you want to make sure that you can handle even the emotional impact, the emotional and mental of making that change. And those stress levels are real when you're starting a
Oh,
business of your own.
owning your own business, you have a lot on your plate because you're everything.
Yeah.
You're the bookkeeper, you're the marketer, or everything. So you got to have the energy and you got to have the stress at a manageable level, knowing how to deal with that. And you got to get good sleep. Unfortunately, in midlife, those all take work. So you got to put in a routine that makes it have a better chance of getting there.
Right, then you can have the success then if you feel like you're
Yes.
ready to go and then you can take
Yes.
control. I guess it's like that theme we're talking about is just taking control of your life at this age and
Yes.
making that second act what you want it to be in all aspects.
Yes. Because it shouldn't be like a second job. Once you get it in dialed in and get that routine, then you don't have to focus on it. It's just part of who you are and it frees you up to be creative and pursue things that you never thought you could.
Mm. You're just glowing as you talk about this. So I want to ask like how has creating this business for you and going out there on your own changed your life for the better?
It's given me my confidence back. Like, and I get to see the gifts God gave me in a new way,
Yeah.
and I just feel called to talk about it. I'm the person at the gym when someone asks, I'm like, oh, I know what you can do. Or at the grocery store when they're having a hot flash, I'm like, I can help you. It's when you can't keep it a secret and you just
Mhm.
feel so called to share and that's what excites me, I love the challenge of doing new things. And this YouTube, oh my goodness, I did not start well, but it's getting better every day, and the learning that and just meeting other business women has helped too. We've gotten a circle of people that understand where we're coming from, and it's been fun.
I agree. I feel like everything you said I can relate to because you're so excited about what you're creating for yourself that you want to share it with others. And I know that you feel this way working with clients and you see their success and then making that transformation, whether it's starting a business or getting healthy. And
Yes.
you're just, it lights you up and you're like, this is why I'm doing this. And you just
Yes.
feel like just you found your purpose. And that's what you
Oh,
want.
that is 100%, yes. When I can help somebody overcome this old food story where these habits that they've gotten in and their parents told them that, it's so fun to help them make those small changes and then how they teach their kids how to do it or how they, pass that along. That's what we're called to do is be the light for other people.
All right, it's time for our 5 fast cues of the week. Here we go.
So, name one thing that these different chapters in your life have taught you.
That's not done with me yet. That every phase, there's something new coming along, and I'm gonna continue to be excited about what comes next, as long as I'm open to it.
Would you recommend taking a leap into a big life change to your best friend?
Yes. Yes, I think it's exciting. I do think you can plan for it, just like your book outlines how to do that. But yes, I think the people that don't take that leap, just their world starts to shrink. But if you do take that leap, it just opens up. Even if you don't succeed the first time, it just lights you up and excites you and gives you a purpose to work towards.
What is one piece of advice that you would give to someone who's about to start their second act?
Pray a lot, be brave, and get a circle of supporters with you. It might not be your family and friends. It might be somebody outside that, someone who doesn't know you as that, but get your support network in there because you're going to need it. But just know that God's got something bigger planned for you.
Mm. Well, what is maybe your next act? What are you thinking about for down the road for you, Jenny Waters?
Oh, that's a good question. I hope my girls have to cooperate, but I hope grandparents, being a grandparent is it's somewhere in the near future. But I just continue to just keep growing and praying that God's going to use me in new ways
Mhm.
because I just keep, I'm in a good spot right now, but I know there's more to come.
Being open to it, I think, is the whole key, right? Just being
Yes.
open to what the next adventure is.
Yes. Never say never because a lot of times that's going to come back and be shown to you in a different way. Because I've said never public speaking, never own a business, lots of nevers. And that's usually it's not the case. I get to do it anyway. So,
I love it. Well, this has been so much fun. Where can my listeners follow you and connect with you? Tell us all the places.
okay. YouTube is my favorite, Jenny Waters Wellness, and my website is jennywaterswellness.com. Easy to remember, but if you find me on YouTube, I'm who you see on the video. I don't know how to be pretentious, but you get to know me very well there, so I hope you'll join me there.
Oh, yeah, I can attest to that. And really, just so much great information and content over there. It really is a great place to get to know you and then work with you. That one on one individual accountability and coaching is fantastic too.
Yes, please join me in the Thrive Method. If you need somebody in your corner to help you walk through those small lifestyle changes that are going to get your energy back.
We all need that. So I'm looking forward to working with Jenny very soon too. But Jenny, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing so much about your journey and your family and your business. And I absolutely love everything that you're doing to help other women as well. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Shannon. I have to say, go get Shannon's book. It was the book I wish I had when I was in my 40s and I was feeling called to something else. Gives the perfect roadmap. I wish I had had that plan at that time.
Thank you. That means so much to me coming from you. Thank you.